Schizophrenic rants. Take one. Let me cook. Let me cook, bro. Let me cook. Let me cook. Let me cook. I need to have it above type shit so I could just capture the essence of the moment. Like, you feel me? I see it now. I see that it's less of you. I think I want to go road on them now, so I can move around. It's less of you being a podcast host, and I think this is something really important for all the podcast hosters out there. See, I be trying to frame it. I don't need to frame it. It's already framed. But to the point that, and I just be admiring myself, so I can't even have this up. I just got to have the full scope of how I be walking around and talking and getting in my bag. Like, I don't even want to see this for real. I don't want niggas to. I just got to hear the autofocus going. It's like, earlier I was talking about how when you're being a podcaster and when you're communicating with people, that you want to take a step back and look at yourself from a third point of view. But I was mistaken, and I have more knowledge, and I want to share it. And so I call this series the Schizophrenic Rant. Essentially, I'm going to be back here dribbling the ball, giving rants about things that I love to talk about, things that I enjoy in life, marketing, sales, consulting. This is what I do. Now I'm going to do it on camera. And so I was telling myself earlier that, like, when you're in these conversations, when you're doing a podcast, when you're speaking with people, especially for a purpose, for a goal, let's say, for example, your podcast is about marketing, or your podcast is about motivation, mindset, and you want to motivate people. You want to help them change their mindsets. And originally what I said was that you want to be speaking from a third perspective and looking at yourself externally to be able to get to that goal. But now I realize the more in the moment you are, and the less you focus on trying to speak to the people that you're trying to speak to, and the more that you become the person that you are trying to communicate with, the easier it is. And so let me give you an example. All right. A perfect example is right now. It's like the more that I focus on trying to please and trying to directly communicate to the people that I want to help, the less effective I am, because I'm trying and I'm not doing. And I'm not actually the person in that moment. I'm not actually the person that has the experience to be able to effectively make change. Whether that be change in your mind, change in your habits, change in your patterns, just change in general. And so what I want to start doing more, what I think people should start doing more, is being able to be in the moment after first becoming the person that you want to target. Because then it makes it so much easier. You don't even have to try. You don't even have to. It's like breathing. It's like dribbling a basketball. It's like when you first start dribbling a basketball, immediately you look down at the ball. And you're focusing so hard on the action of dribbling the ball, especially, let's say it's your opposite hand. And you're focusing so hard, you're like, all right, this is the action I need to do. I need to slap down my wrist. I need to pound the ball. All right, boom. And then over time, the more you do it, the more you become a quote unquote good dribbler, the more you become an artist, the more you become an entrepreneur, the more you become a podcaster, a communicator, business mogul, whatever your thing is, the more experience you have and the more you do it and the more you become that thing, then you start looking up like, all right, cool, now I'm flowing with it now. Okay, I'm dribbling. I ain't got no bag yet, but like, shit, at least I'm not looking at the ball. It's like, boom, then you have that realization. And then, boom, okay. Now I got my left hand down. Hold on, let me hit a little crossover. Now you gotta look down again because you just get a new move. I'm dribbling, crossing over. Now I'm looking at the ball because I just implemented a new move in my game. Over time, you start to be able to look up. Now you dribbling, yeah, now you're bagging deep, bro. Now you're starting to add swag to that dish. Hold on. You starting to add swag. Hold on. Shit. Then you go to implement a new move, and you may have to look down again, but for an even shorter amount of time, because you're starting to develop these connections in your brain, and you're starting to actually become a good dribbler instead of trying to dribble or trying to do a new move, or trying to start that business, or trying to change your mindset, or trying over again. I'm trying to, get to this position in my life that I want to be. I'm trying to get that new job. It's like niggas try so much that they don't end up doing what they want to do in life. And so to get back to the dribble analogy, you should start practicing over and over again, right? You just start doing it. You're not really trying. Practicing is action. Practicing is doing. You start doing it. You doing the windshield wipers and shit. Your handles getting tight as shit. You start sham-godding niggas like. You start doing all types of crazy dribbling moves in between, like dead leg, crossing niggas the fuck over. And where a lot of people go wrong is they get the bag and they're like, I'm good. See, that could go multiple ways. That wouldn't go over your head. You feel me? That wouldn't go over your head. You feel me? I bet you was thinking about money. For real though, but niggas get the bag and they be like, I got the bag now. I'm cool. Let me just stop playing basketball. Like, you feel me? I'm good now. I got what I wanted. But that's the difference between you and a professional. It's like a professional gets the bag, they get all these moves, and then they go do it in the actual game. And they actually get in the game. They put themselves in the game through the practice, due to honing their skill sets, due to doing the action, due to learning how to dribble, and they actually implement it over and over and over again. And the reason is because their why is not to become a good dribbler. It's to be the best basketball player ever. It's this outlandish to you dream that may feel so far off, but to them, they're focused on the little things necessary to reach that goal. Like, alright, I'm not doing these dribbling moves right here just to become the best dribbler. Nigga, I'm trying to be LeBron. Like, so if I'm trying to be LeBron, then how am I gonna sit here and do these moves half-ass if LeBron is already on his third workout of the day? If LeBron is already, he's working on his lay package now. It's like, you gotta be able to keep up and not so much of focusing on not the components, but the competition, but focusing on your own individual goal, right? Another pitfall of people, too focused on being focused, right? Too focused on the action of being focused. It's like, how can we break out of that cycle? And that's what I'm here to tell you today. This video is about breaking out of the cycles and the negative habits that we all have. And so the first way that you're going to want to break the cycle is to learn about the things that you are doing negatively already. How do we learn about the things that we're doing negatively already? Is by learning about who we are. And so you must ask yourself right now, with your goal in mind, because my goal is different from your goal. Your goal may be the best entrepreneur in the world. Hopefully now that you know that you need to be shooting higher, your goal may be to be the best, basketball player, the best artist, the best this, the best that. But who are you right now? And how will you actually know what you need to do that, to be that best artist, to be that best person, if you don't know your starting point? And that's my whole thing. It's like, I want people to learn weigh their art in their life and be able to place themselves against their goal. Like why are we in no man's land? Why have we been doing the same things over and over again for years and then being mad that we don't have the result? Why are we not seeking change? Why are we not seeking coaching? Why are we not getting around people that are just like us, that want the same things? And I'll tell you, it's because you're satisfied, and that is serving you. The fact that you're not achieving your goal is serving you, and you enjoy that. Now, this relates to a book. I'm not sure which book. Probably you'll throw it up on the screen. Take a look back at your phone screen to see what book I'm talking about. But in this book, the author is having a conversation with a student, and the student is very objective. They don't understand what the professor is speaking about. They don't understand why people do what they do and how what they actually are doing is their goal, not what they say. One of the main reasons why I don't take people for their word is because I always know it's something deeper that's actually serving them in their life. For example, let's say I want to be the best dribbler in the world. Every day I wake up and I don't dribble the basketball. Well, how am I going to be the best dribbler in the world if I don't actually dribble the basketball and do the actions that allow you to become the best dribbler in the world? Well, if you start to take a look at who you are, or who I am, or who that person is, you'll see that they wake up, and the reason that they want to be the best dribbler in the world is because they watch Kyrie Irving, and they see how confident Kyrie Irving is. They see how poised he is on the court. They see how calm. They see how he moving. They see how fluid, and they admire the art form. And on top of that, guess what? Guess who their favorite player, or guess who their dad's favorite player is, right? Kyrie Irving. And it's like, oh shit, all right, well, where do we go from here? What does that have to do with anything? We go even deeper from there. And we're like, all right, well, we know that this person, this hypothetical person, wants to be the best dribbler. They do that, and they believe they want to do that because they like Kyrie. And now we know that their favorite person, i.e. Kyrie, also is their dad's favorite player. And so we start to look for connections in there. And we're going to do this together. We look for those connections within the experiences. And this screen just threw me off, because I don't know if it's recording. That just threw me off. We look for connections in between. And we're like, all right, well, how does this all connect? And that's what I'm here for, is to make things make sense and to give you reasoning. It doesn't have to be true reasoning. It just has to make sense for you, because what makes sense for me and what makes sense for you is completely different from what makes sense to person A or person B or person C. And so we're having these conversations, and now we separate. Right? We separate ourselves from this person, their goals. We separate ourselves from what this other person wants. We separate from what we actually do. And we look at ourselves not from that third person's perspective that I was speaking about earlier, but for what we truly do in the moment, like our true actions. Cool. And so the connections start to make sense when we're able to look at them, and we're able to see them for what they truly are. And now we see, and how we do it is not really a secret. It's pretty basic. But it's like oftentimes I get to a point within myself that I don't even want to share my information, because I know how valuable it is. So make sure you guys subscribe, and we'll go into the depths of each individual character and how we make those connections. You know what? Let me just tell you, I don't want to give y'all niggas the sauce, because I feel like niggas don't appreciate the sauce when you just hand it to them on a silver platter. You got to make niggas work for the sauce. You feel me? You got to make niggas pay for the sauce. I'm going to share it with you because you're still going to need help anyway. And so we make this connection, and this gets deep, right? This gets more personal than anything. And this is not a personal example. This is a random made-up example. Obviously, when we have these conversations, these things are secrets for, not secrets, but they're safe within the conversation, within the group. I want to make sure you guys know that so you feel comfortable sharing, because that's the most important thing. You have to be comfortable sharing with me, comfortable sharing with yourself, because if you're not comfortable sharing with yourself, you'll never be able to make true progress. And so let's get back to the example of the dribbler who wants to be the best dribbler in the world, but for some reason they don't dribble. And obviously, they don't want to be the best dribbler in the world because they don't dribble, they don't pick up the basketball. But it's deeper than that. A lot of people stop there. I don't, which is the reason for this whole video, is to dive deeper and to actually figure out the reasons why we want to be the best dribbler and how we can take steps if that is truly our goal. Obviously, and maybe not so obviously, we debunk that's not the goal, and that not dribbling is, but why? And here's the reason. It's because the things in between are serving, right? The wake up in the morning and having conversations with your dad, right, or your friends about dribbling are fueling that fire, right? And your dad is constantly getting on you about, yeah, man, like, come on, get on that basketball, like, pick up that ball, man. And that's really the only conversation that you guys may have. Like, you're like, damn, like, you like, pick up that ball, man, like, come on. And maybe sometimes, let's say hypothetically, this person's dad works like 24/7, and the time that they do have to spend, their dad is getting on about picking up the ball, like, yeah, man, like, you could be just like Kyrie, like, you seen that Kyrie clip? That nigga hit the in and out, crossover hesitation, like, ooh, that shit was, you feel me? And then what starts to happen is you develop feelings around those conversations, and you start to enjoy the fact that your dad is getting on you about picking up the basketball. And so now you feel a sense of love, or you feel something rather than nothing. And because the time that you have with your dad is so limited, it's like, damn, like, shit, I'd rather not dribble and have him get on me, because I know that'll extend our time together rather than actually pick up the basketball. Like, you feel me? Like, nah, like, same with camp. Like, literally same with anything. Like, shit, like, I just like when a nigga get on me, because them damn near be the only conversations that you have. It's like, damn, like, niggas just want to communicate. Niggas want to be heard. This goes for literally anything in life. Niggas just... niggas is just yearning for attention. And the fact that this hypothetical person gets that attention when they don't dribble, it's like, how could they ever want to dribble? And this is not a parenting hack, but damn near, like, if you're able to support someone in their goal and actually find ways to help them, it's like you honestly you honestly will put them ahead of a lot of people in the world. And so this is why communities are so important, and actual beneficial information is like, it's kind of like, damn, I don't even want to say this shit for free, because it can really help a nigga. It really can help a nigga get to the bag, right? It can really help a nigga develop a bag. You feel me? And once you develop a bag, everything else comes. And that can be taken many different ways, right? You could take that as, once you start developing these moves, right? And once you keep challenging yourself and advancing through the ranks of becoming a great dribbler, you can get the bag. Not to say that you can't get to the NBA and make a bag and be a professional paid basketball player by not developing a great handle, because there's plenty of people in the league that don't have a great handle. But now it's about finding the reasons why they are actually there, right? And playing to your strong suits, because yeah, maybe this kid is wanting to be a great basketball player and a great, have great handles. But maybe this nigga's like 7 foot, right? And maybe his time can be spent more wisely working on a different skill set. Like, yeah, his dad gets on him about dribbling, but the nigga's 7 foot. The nigga's 7 foot, like, nigga should be banging, you feel me? This nigga's Wembanyama, like, however you say that nigga name, like. And so that's the whole reason for this community, that's the whole reason for these videos is, yeah, we can focus on this one way, this one aspect that serves you, and we can overcome that, which is my favorite way, working on the weaknesses, or we can look towards the strengths. And that's important because not everyone wants to work on their weaknesses. Not everyone has time to work on their weaknesses. You may have a wife and kids and a girlfriend and 2 jobs and cars and money, and you don't have time, or you're not willing to take that risk on yourself to find time or to work on your weaknesses. You got to get money now. You got to take that risk now. You got to go after it now. Like, you may want to work on a strength. You may not want to go find a new career path and just like start working at, I don't know, Saks Fifth, or you may not want to go be a substitute teacher. Like, nigga, you can hoop. Let's find a new way. You feel me? Let's find a new way. Like, you feel me? And so maybe hypothetically, let's say this hooper is, 17. Let's keep going on this one guy. And so we know he's not being served by, or he is being served by not having handles, because that's the only time he gets to spend with his dad. This kid has time. He's 7 foot. He has time to work on his handles. It's summertime. It's before the season. What we would do is figure out how to overcome that conflict of him seeking his father's love and validation and replacing it with actually taking action on becoming a better handler. Right? So we say, all right, man, let's just ask your dad to like go outside and like dribble the ball with you or some shit. You feel me? Why not just, instead of y'all spending time going back and forth about the bullshit about, how you should pick up the basketball, how about asking him to come outside, right? And actually helping you work on your handles. Let's have that conversation together. Maybe you need help having that conversation. Maybe you feel like, I don't want to burden him, I don't want to this. He has so much stuff. Maybe he's so tired from work, his back hurting. He work at the factory with the tires and shit. Like, so we got to find new ways. Are we going to stop there? I don't know. Ask yourself. But a 17-year-old, they have time to work on their problems. They have time to work on these issues. Because damn near you're not doing shit. Like, you living at home. What else you got to do? But let's say there's a college athlete, right? And me, myself, being a former collegiate athlete, bucket or not, nigga, you can't guard me. Nigga, you see this nigga, you can't guard me. Maybe it's starting to get to the end of this person's career now. And we can work through the same person because in life, there's many instances of, and many examples of how deciding not to do one thing and deciding not to work on your weakness at one point will always come back to bite you. And this is why I said I like working on weaknesses. But let's say this person decides right now, you watching this video, that you don't want to work on your weaknesses. You're gonna play life how you're playing it right now and see how it works out. Go ahead and do that. I'll see you in a couple of years. I'll see you when you're finally ready to work on those weaknesses. When you finally realize those are the things holding you back from achieving your goal. That's fine. I'll see. And, it ain't wrong with a little marketing for me. If you're not ready now, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with that. But let's say this person, they decide not to work on their weaknesses. A 17-year-old kid, he decides not to work on his handles. He's like, fuck it. I'm 7 foot, I can dunk. Fuck it. I'm 7 foot. By then, let's say this is 2024. This kid's 17. 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029. Right? 18 years old is when you graduate high school. They did 4 years of college because they didn't have handles. They couldn't get out the fucking conference. They went D1 because they're 7 foot. First year they didn't get off the bench. Second year they played. Third year they played a little bit, got some buckets. Fourth year they finally realized they started to need to work on their handles, and it was too late because now they started working on a weakness. Damn near can't even implement it into the game, and they're playing the same exact way as they played their freshman season. So no growth is happening, no advancement, no skill set work, no coaching, no mindset, no actual achievement towards a goal. They just keep doing the same shit over and over and over again. And now it's like, all right, damn, I gotta go see Coach Mule. Where Coach Mule at? Where Coach Mule at? I'm like, all right, bro, you ready? I'm like, you 20, what you 5 years, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 years old now. I'm like, hey, bro, like, I told your ass, bro. I told your ass, like, I told your ass, nigga, like, I told you, like, you tripping. Come on, I still fuck with you. I still help you out. But we got to go all the way back now to when you're 17. Now we got to go dig into the old trauma and waste all this time. And because we're not going to work on the strength. You already see what happened when we didn't work on a weakness. So we going to have to waste this time now. We're going to have to push back you going pro because you didn't want to do it now. And so we work together. I'm like, you know, at this point in your life, we kind of got to focus on your strengths. We're going to work on the weaknesses, and it's going to take more time now, but let's do what we can do. And so I'm like, all right, bro, what are you good at? What'd you do in college? The nigga like, I just drop step dunked and did hook shots. I'm like, yeah, bro, niggas doing that in the league? Hell no. Niggas like Giannis now, shooting threes, 7-foot niggas with muscle shooting threes. They got niggas with like Giannis doing speed boost dunks. By 2029, nigga, who knows what the league gonna look like? Niggas might be 7 foot, all KD niggas. Like it might be all straight KD niggas, but bigger. Webbing Giannis with handles and jump shots. Like, it might be on some Monster shits by then. But the whole time, you was busy just, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I don't know what this nigga was doing. Like, he was just focused on what he could already do well. He was stuck in his ways. He was set. A nigga hit me with this. My mind was set. I'm like, my mind was set. Instead of having a new mindset, nigga, mine was sent. Bro, that shit crazy. So I'm like, all right, bro. All you did was drop step dunk. Man, this shit gonna be tough, bro. And this can go for anything. They say we got an entrepreneur. Bro, all I did was just sell candy. All I did was post reactions. All I did was chew bubble gum. I don't know. I'm like, all right. Well, what's the reason why you haven't decided for yourself that you want to grow and actually become? And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be because you don't know who you are. And you don't even know what you do well or what you don't do well. You didn't even realize that when you were 17 years old, you didn't work on your handles because dad wasn't there. You didn't even realize. It just grazed right over your head. You know why you didn't realize? Social media, distractions, girls, focusing on money, focusing on media. You were too busy watching basketball. You were too busy dunking and getting your shine on because you was dunking at 4 years old because you was 6'2" out the womb. Like, you was just too busy focusing on it now. And I can't blame you. I can't blame you. You feel me? I can't blame you. But I'm not gonna sit here and say you the victim. It's your fault. It's your fault you didn't focus on the things that you needed to do and what was necessary to be able to get to your goals, to be able to develop handles. But I give you grace. I give you grace. I'm gonna help you because I got you. Don't trip. And so now we go through that and we get to the root of that problem. We see, dad was the cause. And I'm like, all right. Well, what can we do now? Like, how can we break out of this? There's only one way. It's the action. It's the work that you're going to have to put in. And so we're going to develop habits. We're not going to just go straight to working on handles because obviously last time that didn't work. Obviously for 5 years you've been trying to work on handles and developing a better handle and being able to attack the basket better, and that hasn't worked. We're not going to focus on the handles. We're going to focus on the grander goal, right? The reason why you want to develop handles. The reason why you want to be a better dribbler. The reason why you need to be a better dribbler to have more success. Instead of just focusing on developing those things. As I mentioned before, LeBron isn't focused on developing better handles just to have better handles. He's developing better handles to be able to score more buckets and become the all-time leading scorer and push that shit out so far that no one can reach it. To push the scoring record into the into the ether, like to push that shit into outer space so no one can ever reach it. He can be the ultimate all-time greatest player of all time type shit. You feel me? So we're not just gonna focus on having those small handles, that one skill. We're gonna push it out so far, and we're gonna use values to get there. That ultimately, not only do you get better handles, but now, nigga, you're on a G League team, and now you're getting ready to you're getting called up, right? And you're gonna have to pay me for that, but that's another story. You will have to sign a 360 deal. That's besides the point. But on a real note, it's like a lot of the time when we have these conversations, I don't want to say that you're not thinking big enough, but like you got to realize how big the people at the top are thinking, and that's the reason why they got there. You know? It's tough to do, for sure. It's definitely tough to do. But that's the reason for the community. That's the reason for being able to learn. Now, do you want to be able to learn and get over those weaknesses now? Or do you want to wait until it's almost too late, damn near too late? All right, it's going to take time either way. Personally, I would rather do it now while I'm young and have less trauma than wait till I get to, to that year of college, or wait till I'm about to graduate with this business degree that I have no experience and I want to start a business but I don't know how, or wait till damn near I graduated and now I want to get into content creation, or wait until I want to start this small business after 40 years of working for a corporate company and wasting all my time and wasting all my energy on chasing someone else's goal because I didn't think big enough, and now I decided that someone else can pick my goal for me, or pick what my life is gonna be like at the end of the day. And so it's all up to you. What do you decide? Are you gonna choose now to work on your handles? Or are you gonna choose to be the best basketball player of all time and be able to get by anybody easily without even trying? Are you gonna work on your weakness now? Or are you gonna allow what's going on in your life to serve you and distract you from the fact that you can actually reach that goal, and you can actually be the best basketball player of all time, the richest entrepreneur of all time, the best bubblegum chewer of all time, the best content creator, the biggest YouTuber, bigger than Mr. Beast? If only you knew how. And that how is through values. That how is through values, man. Niggas think the how is some myth, some mythical thing that cannot be achieved. Like, niggas think the how is this complex formula, this secret mission that you gotta pay $1 million bajillion to get to. But it's as simple as a value. And you have values now. Depending on where you're at in your life, depending on, how long you've been watching Coach MUEL, you may have the values necessary already. You're just not taking the action. But let's say we're starting off, right? Let's say we time travel back to that 17-year-old who has the values of social media addiction. They have the values of, all the values. And not to say that values are bad, good or bad, right? It's just how we express those and how we express those things towards our goal, right? It's like we all have values, right? We have values of consistency, of discipline. We have the values of hard work. We have the values of doing all these things. Values are values. They cannot be good or bad. It's like the application of those values, right? It's like, all right, I'm consistent. I'm consistently working on my handles. As soon as my dad tells me, bro, go work on your handles, I'm like, all right. I get a little motivation from him. After 5 minutes, I see his car pull out the driveway. I'm going straight to the video game. Fuck it. Fuck this shit. 2K, nigga. 2K handles. Slide left. Slide right. Step back. Green bean. You feel me? It's like, yeah, you're consistent. You're not consistent enough. You're working on your handles, but are you improving? You're going out there for 5 minutes after, he tells you, he's motivating you, but then you're not actually improving. That's why it's so important, again, to know who you are, because you'll start to realize that your actions don't necessarily align with the goal that you set out for yourself. And yeah, you have the values, but at the end of the day, it's not working, buddy. When are you going to realize that? And a lot of people go about telling you guys these things in a lot of different ways. Personally, I'm not the guy that's going to shame you for not having it work. But at a certain point, someone's going to have to give you that wake-up call, and it's going to be you. That's what makes this community so different, is the fact that I allow you to see for yourself that you aren't doing enough. You say this is your goal. You say you want to be the best basketball player of all time. You say you want to have better skills, but on paper, it's not actually true. And you get to see that for yourself. You get to be your own red pill coach. You get to say to yourself, damn, I didn't even realize I wasn't working hard enough. Damn, shit. It's a rude awakening. And then once you get to that point, you're like, your place, right? Your feet are on the ground. You're like, damn, you look around. You realize that you only practice for 5 minutes. You realize what you're doing isn't working. Then it's like, all right, what do I need to do? This is where you actually reinforce those values necessary to see success and to see growth and to see, life for what it truly could be when you are taking steps towards your goal, and life for what it can truly be when you are living to your potential, and life for what it can truly be when you are on the path of accomplishing that goal in the way that you want to accomplish it. Side rant, everyone's way of accomplishing is different, which makes me different from a lot of coaches. I'm not going to lead you down one way of accomplishing your goal, because there's many different ways. You could like to be positive. You could like engaging activities. You could enjoy being around the guys. You could enjoy having meaning, following God, religion. You could enjoy achieving a grand goal. You could enjoy just being in the best shape, right? You honestly could enjoy being negative, which is fine. That doesn't last long, but there's different ways to be able to accomplish that goal. It's all about what's best for you. It's all about what you want to do, right? And let's say after we get and understand that, all right, damn, I'm really not getting buckets. I'm really not getting better. And how we do that is we put you in the fire. We put you in experiences for you to fail and for you to realize that you aren't that guy. You put yourself in those situations. This is where the action comes into play. It's like, all right, let's say I'm coaching this 17-year-old kid. We try and travel back in time. I tell him, hey, look what you're doing all day, man. Playing a video game. Oh, you think you got this? He swears that he has handles. He swears. He's like, bro. I'm like, you talking about the video game, bro? Or you talking about real life? I'm like, cool. All right, there's a rec league coming up, bro. Let's go. Come out with me. You know, this is where good to great coaches, they put you in situations to grow. Right? I'm like, all right, come into the rec league, bro. All right, try the moves that you've been trying. Cookie. I'm like, damn, bro, what's going on? He's like, I don't know. Cookie. I'm like, damn, what's going on? I thought you was tough, bro. Yo, I thought you had the handles, gang. Ah, damn. And it's not a slight, but I don't even really say anything. I let you to see for yourself that you aren't where you need to be, if that is your goal. You know? You aren't where you need to be. You're not going to put yourself in that situation because you don't want to get exposed. But that's the most important piece, is like exposing ourselves to new things and exposing ourselves to the reasons why we aren't and have not yet achieved our goal. But now we see. And it's not like an I told you so moment. It's more so like, how do you feel after that? You know? Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like you've made progress towards the goal? Do you feel like what you're doing right now is helping you? And we know now that the goal isn't just to be the better dribbler. It's to score the basket off the dribble. And we're like, all right, like objectively, like, did you accomplish the goal? Did you get a bucket? Did you do what you needed to do using what you said you were trying to get better at, right? And it's like, no. Every time you went to the basket, you got cookie. And so instead of focusing on the fact that in that game you did do very well, you scored 20 points and you dunked 20 times, we're going to focus on the bullshit. It is the reason why a lot of people get turned off by coaching. Like, oh, my coach is shit, my coach is this, my coach is that. Is because they're not going to point out the fact that you're doing well, because their goal isn't for you to congratulate you. Right? Their goal is to win games, right, and get you better. Their goal is to push you to the next level. It's not to just like coddle you and say like, oh, you scored 20 points, like, you know, their goal is to push you to 40. And how can you get to 40? By becoming better and being able to handle the ball and get to the rim off the dribble. You feel me? And so then we're like, all right, man, like, yeah, we can focus on the dub. Remember when we had that projection like 20 minutes ago where I was like, hey, like, you know, 5 years ago, you get to this point and you didn't work on your handles at all. And, you know, and this is the key piece right here is projection, like looking ahead. Not a lot of people get to look ahead because of the distractions, because we're not trained to look ahead, because that's just not how anybody in our family has ever done anything. Everybody's so focused on it now. So I get you to look ahead and I say, look, man, like, you see that? Like, damn, like, look, this is what happens if you work on that strength. But this is what could happen if you work on that weakness. See, in the league, we start to visualize things. And then we sit down, we're like, all right, you starting to pick it up. This guy's starting to pick it up, right? He's like, fuck, you right, bro. Like, let's figure this shit out. I'm like, bro, well, what do you actually want to do? He's like, man, I want to be like Bron. I want to be like Giannis, mixed with KD, mixed with Wembanyama, mixed with this guy, mixed with that guy. I'm like, yo, that's possible. Yo, that's possible, B. That's possible. Let's do it. And I'm like, what do these guys actually do? This goes back to the point of LeBron looking up and seeing his goal and not just seeing the skill set that he's working on. What do these guys actually do mindset-wise, objectively, technically? They're looking up when they dribble. LeBron hitting this dumbass move. Let's take this dumb shit, but let's take another move that he does really well. Let's take his slashing ability. Let's take the fact that he's 6'8", 350 pounds, all muscle, like, all right, boom, take a little bit from everybody. put those things together, and we create we create your game around what you actually need to do based on the professionals, right? Not based on the shit that's getting you, looks now, but based on the professionals. Like, damn. Where a lot of coaches, especially at the college level, stunt players' growth is because they get them to stop looking outwards to win games, and they get them to look in the now. It's like same for business, same for college, same for anything. It's like they bring you back and like slam you in the present. Like, no, focus here. Look here. Keep your head down. Work hard. Look here. Like, nah, look, you feel me? Focus on that homework and maybe you can get to the league. No. What the fuck is the home? No. And we'll get to the reason why they actually do that is to build that value. But what if we built the values of the things that we wanted to accomplish for ourselves? Do you want to be a A+ student, or do you want to go to the league? Do you want to work for somebody else, or do you want to work for yourself, right? Do you want to be the best content creator in the world, or do you want to be average? It's like, which one? And so the only way to do that is to look at the people who are doing it the very best. Let's say you want to be a basketball player. Should we look at LeBron? What LeBron doing? LeBron waking up at 5 a.m. LeBron doing extra cryotherapy. He getting in the cold tub. He getting in the hot tub. He getting in the coma air vent. He's taking care of his body. He's resting. He's not focusing on the woman. He's focused on the game. He has his sons. He has this life surrounding him. It's like, okay. Well, maybe we don't have everything right now, but what do we have that we can use to be able to improve? And when should we actually start? When are we looking to go to the league? How can we project outwards to figure out the steps necessary to take action in between, not get overly worked up and overly, I'm trying to be the best in the league, start driving yourself crazy. Because that goal just seems so massive. We start to break it down and we get to win. This is where the values come in. It's like, all right, well, when do I need to be doing the things that LeBron does? And also, what does that truly mean? Like, all right. To make it more simpler, how can we bring it down to a level that can allow us to do these things over time past basketball? It's like basketball is going to end one day. LeBron is going to retire soon. But all the skills that he's learned in between are going to allow him to be successful in whatever he does. That's the ultimate goal. Put basketball out of this conversation. Put business out of this conversation. Put content out of this conversation. It's like, how can we develop things that can allow us to succeed in life, period? Allow us to have happy lives, period. It's like, how can we do that? This right here, when we do those things. LeBron wakes up at 5 a.m. and why does he do that? It's because he's training himself and he's developing discipline. It's like LeBron goes out and he practices for 2 hours, and why does he do that? And when does he do that? He does that. This is where we start to schedule too. Like, all right, we're not just going to sit here and talk about it. Let's put it on the schedule. When are you going to go out and dribble? All right, well, instead of just waiting until my dad says it, let me go do it before, Or maybe that does motivate me. Let me stop doing it for 5 minutes. Let me do it for 2 hours. Let me set a timer. Okay, cool. And why? And this is personal to you. That comes at the end. All right? That comes at the end. We want to save that for the end. Just wait on the why. Just wait on the why, right? It's going to change. It's different from you. It's different from me. And this is something that we start with. But I got to save it to that. I got to give you something to watch the whole video through. And so we look at when and we start to schedule it based on their reasoning. We're not using their reasoning. We're connecting their reasoning to our reasoning. Let's say LeBron's why for waking up and practicing at 5 a.m. is because he knows that the competition is not. He's looking to get an unfair advantage. It's like, okay, well, if LeBron is doing that, obviously there's a reason, and the reason is because he knows that 99% of people won't do that, and then he can find, he can tap into an energy that no one else is tapping into at that time of the night. It's still dark out. He's practicing. He's like, nigga, I know niggas not up. That's motivated him. He's like, I know niggas not up with that whack ass jumper. Like, I know niggas not up. Break. He's like, I know this shit. Break. Him and Bronny shooting breaks. I know niggas not up. But he's still getting it. He's still working on it. But after he's done shooting them bricks, what he gonna do? He gonna go slash to the basket, do 3 windmill dunks. Boom. He's still working on his weaknesses, even late into his career, into his 40s. All right, well, why after he goes and shoots those bricks, why is he going into the cold tub? Well, he values longevity. He values being able to walk when he's 60 years old and not having to walk with a cane and having great health. He values all those things. Why does he, after he gets in the cold tub, goes and takes a nap? It's because he values his health. And one of the main things that I noticed from LeBron, I haven't done any research, is that his health and his family is very important to him. It's like 2 of his strongest reasons, right? The specific whys are personal to you, your specific motivations, but from just the naked point of view, it seems like he really values his family, his relationships, and his health. And that shows. He does a whole bunch of fucking health work. He does a whole bunch of family stuff. And that is just a brief introduction to the whys that we use. It doesn't really matter the specifics. We just want to have a reasoning. We just want to have a clear conscience. And so cool. LeBron does it at this specific time. Let's work around your current schedule. We know you don't have the free time like LeBron. Nigga, you're not LeBron. You're you. You're a 7-foot, 17-year-old kid who's looking to improve his handles. And so boom. Well, where do we need to do those things, and where are we looking to go with these actions, right? This is where we start to look at the things that we want to accomplish along the way. We're like, this is the fun part. It's like, shit, like, where we want to take this shit. This is where you start intellectualizing, and you start to align the things that you're going to do with where you want to take it. This is like the roadblocks along your journey. It's just like, all right, well, I'm in high school. I want to be 1,000-point scorer. Damn, I'm 800 away. How am I going to get those last 200 points in my last senior season? Boom. Where do I need to be to be able to do that? All right, well, like, we could either do the same things, or we can work this summer and do a little bit of both, of handling and just drop step dunking. All right, cool. Like, all right, let's implement a little small thing along the way. Let's take baby steps towards getting handles, and then let's continue to work on the things that have been going well. But remember, we're taking baby steps. By the time you get to the senior year of college, those baby steps will turn into leaps and bounds, and now you full sprinting in and out cross, pairing it with the dunk, and boom. So the baby steps will add up, but let's just take that first step now. Make sure you subscribe to take that first step now. So it's like, boom, where do you want to go? Well, I'm 17, I want to be 1,000-point scorer. After that, I want to sign to a D1 school. After that, I want to, I want to go in and maybe play overseas, right? I want to go and get to the G League. I want to then train. This is where we start planning out and envisioning ourselves in this new arena, in this new light, in our new dream. But with the actual values necessary to be able to achieve those things. And not just stop right when we get to college, or stop when we get to the league, or stop when we, get that girl, or stop when we do this or that, right? And so it's like, damn, like, I want that apartment, but like, how am I gonna, like, what's the steps necessary instead of thinking about it, let's use the values necessary, the win, to be able to get there. And this is where it gets fun. It's like, why are we doing this? There's war in the world. There's death. There's despair. There's like there's so much going on. President Trump, Biden, Kamala Harris, social media, women, porn, beach and meat. There's so much going on. Why are we going to do this? What is going to help us stick to this plan? Why are we doing this? Why do we exist? Why? I ask myself that every single day. And it's unique to you. Now, to give you just a little bit more structure, what I've created and what I haven't personally created, but what has been done is something called positive psychology. There's this framework, right? This health questionnaire. The first step of our program is to take this questionnaire and it's like, all right, where am I, right? What do I value? What's important to me? It just makes things so much simpler. Instead of us having long, drawn-out conversations where I'm like, all right, bro, well, why do you like life? What's your favorite part about life? It just tells you in 20 questions, right? It tells you what you do well, what you like, your strengths and your weaknesses. And so how I got here, how I got in front of you today, is I took that quiz and I was like, yo, like, what's my strengths? What's my weaknesses? And I found out that I was a lonely child, no young boy. I'm just a lonely child. Oh, hey, you feel me? I was a lonely nigga. I'm like, damn, like, I'm doing all these things well. I have all this education. I got this college degree. I can play basketball. I be fucking the bitches. Like, my dick long and shit. Like, I'm getting the money a little bit, but like, I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. I'm not reaching my goals. I'm not progressing in life. Like, how can I actually get to this point where I feel like, damn, I'm happy. I'm well. And it hit me. I'm like, man, I gotta work on my weaknesses. Instead of trying to help others, I gotta figure out my why before I help you find your why. And that's what gives me the qualifications. Not only are we pairing it with science and psychology, is I've done it for myself. It's like I've done this for you. And so I get to this point, I'm like, damn, relationships, like, I'm like, me to me, I'm like, you right, bro. I'm like, you right. My nigga Davo calling me, I'm gonna call him back. I'm like, you right, bro. It's me to me. I'm over here, I'm like, bro, you lonely. I'm like, true. I'm like, true. Let me do something about this, right? Let me not wait until I get to the end of my life and I'm alone and I didn't work on myself or work on the things that were pushing people away and this and that and all these negative values and all these negative beliefs. I'm like, let me do it now. Let you do it now before it's too late. And I'm like, damn, like, fuck, like, this shit crazy. Like, how I'm lonely, but I'm a popular loner on some shit, like, real shit, like, real spill, like. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And so I started working on my relationships. I started working on the skills and the values necessary to not only connect with the people that I want to connect with, but also maintain those relationships. And what does that mean? What are those values? And why do I even want to do it? I did it to be able to help myself grow, to live an overall well life, to be able to have all the things necessary and have everything that I've ever wanted, to be able to take care of people and to be able to help you. That's what I really did it for. I did it for you. I put myself through a period and a little lonely stretch to be able to learn about myself and develop this framework to help you. Simple. I did it for you, cuz. You feel me? I did it for me. Cause I am me and you. That's deep right there. I did it for me. And me doing it for me is me doing it for you. It may fly over a lot of people's heads. But I'm like, boom, all right, cool. I know my why. I'm gonna work on this weakness. I'm gonna become a better person. I'm gonna go on this self-improvement journey. I'm gonna actually be able to develop these values and I'm gonna use my weakness to do it. And then over time, I'm going to be able to accomplish anything that I've ever wanted to accomplish, business-wise, money-wise, all these things in society that I wanted but were confusing. I was confusing it with, trauma, confusing it with things that weren't actually helping me, right? I thought that I was doing it right. I thought that I was doing everything. I got the degree. I played basketball. I was getting a job, everything that they told you to do, and I still wasn't happy. I still was like, man, this shit's just not, life just not hitting. It's dull. It's boring. This shit undemure. Like, this shit not cool. Like, shit whack, bro. Shit whack. So I'm like, fuck. The fuck I'm gonna do? I got this why. And what did I do? I found out who I was, right? I found out what I actually wanted to do, when I needed to do those things, and where I wanted to go, right? Where I needed to be and where I was going to do it at. And I used my weakness and I used values that support growing in that aspect to be able to reach it. And so instead of being consistent, instead of being confident, just to be it, instead of, building trust, having trust, instead of, all these things necessary in life, period, just to have them, I did them to not only grow and have better relationships, but push way past that. So what have I done now? How has this manifested into my life? You'll see. Go look at the page. Like, see what type of connections a nigga been connecting. See how I've been moving throughout my life. Like, see who I've been able to get in contact with. See where I'm working now. Like, go check the resume, nigga. Like, check what I'm doing. Like, nigga, I'm like, check the facts, bro. See what I've been doing. See who I've been connecting with. See the public interviews that I'm doing. See where I'm at. See what I do on a day-to-day. Subscribe to see all that. Like, see who we connect with and how we continue to use relationships and grow in that aspect and be able to continue to learn from the people that you want to learn from, doing what you want to do. Like, if you want to be a content creator, subscribe and stay tuned to see who we connect with and how you can learn from their experience. If you want to be a basketball player, I came this far. What you think, I'm going to stop here? Hell no, nigga. Fuck you thought this was. Nigga, I'm finna. You did? Like, hell wrong with you? Nigga? Type shit. Hell wrong with you? You might see me type shit with a nigga type shitter. You feel me? Who knows? I do. And you know why I know? It's because I know what I want to do. I know who I am. What I want to do. When and where. And why. And so start with why today. Right? Start with why today. Ask yourself why you aren't improving at dribbling. Ask yourself why you aren't improving at content creation. Ask yourself why you're not chewing gum the best that you could chew gum. Ask yourself why your business isn't working. Ask yourself why all these things that you want in life aren't being able to be accomplished. And then come back and schedule your one-on-one. And let's see how we can help you improve. But it's your boy coaching you. I'm official like a referee with a whistle. I'm coaching you on the rules of your game, and I'm showing you how to win at them. Flight team, stand up. Type shit. So make sure y'all subscribe. For more examples, drop down your specific situation in the comments, and I'll walk through it. Ask your questions. Ask what's stopping you. Let me know your problems, because all problems can be solved if you want them to. Type shit. Our pod.